Hi boys and girls, I'm Miss Nancy and I'm here to talk to you about resurrection eggs. Now, who can tell me what holiday is coming up? That's right, Easter. And what is a week before Easter called? Remember when they waved the palm branches for Jesus? That's right, Palm Sunday. And a couple days after Palm Sunday, we have Maundy, Thursday. The next day is Good Friday. And 2 days after that is Easter. So to help you to remember all of these holidays and events, I'm going to share with you my resurrection eggs. Let's open them up and see what's inside. Let's look in egg number 1. Who knows what this is? That's right, it's a donkey. On Palm Sunday, Jesus rode this donkey into Jerusalem, and all the people were waving palm branches and singing Hosanna to the King of Kings. Matthew 21, verse 2 and 3. Jesus sent 2 disciples, saying to them, "Go into the village in front of you, and immediately you will find a donkey tied and a colt with her. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says anything to you, you shall say, 'The Lord needs them,' and he will send them at once." The disciples did as Jesus had directed them. They brought the donkey and the colt and put on them their cloaks, and he sat on them. Most of the crowd spread their cloaks on the road, and others cut branches from the trees and spread them on the road. What's inside egg number 2? Who can tell me what these represent? That's right. These 3 coins represent the 30 silver coins that they paid Judas, and he betrayed Jesus. That wasn't very nice that he did that, and he got money for turning Jesus over to the Roman soldiers. Matthew 26, 14 to 16. Then one of the 12, whose name was Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and said, "What will you give me if I deliver him over to you?" And they paid him 30 pieces of silver, and from that moment he sought an opportunity to betray him. Let's look in egg number 3. And what does this look like? That's right. This is the cup that Jesus used on the Last Supper. He had one final meal with his friends, the disciples, and he said, "When you pour wine into this cup, you can remember my blood that is shed for you." Matthew 26, verse 27 to 28. And he took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, saying, "Drink of it, all of you, for this is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins." Who can guess what's in egg number 4? And what does this look like? That's right. These are praying hands. This reminds us that Jesus then went into the Garden of Gethsemane and he prayed to his Father. We should pray to God all the time too, shouldn't we? Mark 14, verse 32 to 34. And they went to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." And he took with him Peter, James, and John and began to be greatly distressed and troubled. And he said to them, "My soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch." What do you think's in egg number 5? Who can tell me what this is? That's right, it's a rooster. Do you remember what Jesus told Peter? He said, "You will deny me 3 times before the rooster crows." And sure enough, Peter denied Jesus 3 times, and then the rooster crowed. Mark 14, verse 71 to 72. But Peter began to invoke a curse on himself and to swear, "I do not know this man of whom you speak." And immediately the rooster crowed a 2nd time. And Peter remembered how Jesus had said to him, "Before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times." And he broke down and cried. Let's open egg number 6. And then, what does this look like? That's right. It's a whip. This is a sad part of the story where the Roman soldiers whipped Jesus and his body got all bloody, but he did that because he loves you and me. John 19, verse 1. Then Pilate took Jesus and flogged him. Let's open egg number 8. Do you know what this is? This is the crown of thorns that they put on Jesus' head. They did that because they were saying he was a king, but it wasn't the regular kind of crown that a king would wear, would it be? This one had thorns, and it really hurt Jesus' head when they put it on him. Matthew 27, verse 27 to 29. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the governor's headquarters, and they gathered the whole battalion before him. And they stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe, and twisting together a crown of thorns, they put it on his head, and put a reed in his right hand. And kneeling before him, they mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" Let's open egg number 8. And you all know what this is. This is the cross on which Jesus died. Although his wasn't a metal cross like this. His was made of wood. They put the wood over his shoulders and he carried it all the way through the city. He carried his own cross all the way up the hill, and he died on Golgotha. But he did it for you and for me because he loves you so very much. John 19, verse 16 to 18. So they took Jesus, and he went out, bearing his own cross, to the place called the place of the skull, which in Aramaic is Golgotha. There they crucified him with 2 others, one on either side, and Jesus in between them. Now let's open egg number 9. And what does this look like? This is the spear. When he was hanging on the cross, they took the spear and they stuck it in his side, and blood and water flowed out. John 19:32 to 34. So the soldiers came and broke the legs of the first and the other who had been crucified with him. But when they came to Jesus and saw he was already dead, they did not break his legs. But one of the soldiers pierced his side with a spear, and at once there came out blood and water. Egg number 10. This is the linen that they wrapped Jesus' body in. When they put him in the grave, they wrapped him up in cloths, just like this one. Matthew 27, verse 57 to 60. When it was evening, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who was also a disciple of Jesus. He went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate ordered it to be given to him. And Joseph took the body and wrapped it in a clean linen shroud and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had cut in the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the entrance of the tomb and went away. Let's open egg number 11. Isn't Mandy being a good little helper for us today? Yes, you are. We're almost done. This is egg number 11. And who knows what this is? That's right. This is the stone that was rolled in front of Jesus' grave. And guess what the angel did when they came? The angels rolled the stone away so that Mary and the disciples, when they came, they could see that the tomb was empty and the stone was rolled away. Matthew 28, verses 2 through 4. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothing white as snow. And for fear of him, the guards trembled and became like dead men. Finally, egg number 12. Here's the last egg. And look, there's nothing in it. This egg is empty. You know why? Because it represents the empty tomb. Jesus died, but he didn't stay there. He rose again from the dead. So egg number 12 is an empty egg. Matthew 28, verses 5 and 6. But the angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you seek Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, just as he said. Come, see the place where he lay." And that, my friends, is the Easter story. I think it's pretty exciting, don't you? I hope you share this story with all of your friends so they can know about the love of Jesus and how he came, lived among us, died, and rose again just for you and me. Have a good Easter!